They're just eliminating, I mean, they have all kinds of policy things in there, cloning bill, elimination of family planning services, but there are a whole lot of people who are the low-income folks on medical assistance. A whole lot of them are going to be put in a high-deductible plan. There's basically people with high-deductible plans can't afford health care if you can't afford to pay those deductibles, and frankly, there are going to be a lot of people without health care. The child care cuts are brutal. It's not going to be a state that we would want to live in if those cuts went through.
It looks like there might be as many as 100,000 taken off health care. Does that?
That's probably likely. The thing is, a whole lot of the others who are on it, when you're talking about funny money, I mean, they have all kinds of things, unlike in the tax bill where the numbers are pretty transparent. In that bill, they're assuming lots of huge savings from taking people off of things. Bottom line is, sick person doesn't stop getting sick when you take away their health care. They use the emergency rooms, and that's going to push to other insurance costs for other people, and it's going to cost the counties and everybody who runs the hospitals a lot more money.
Well, I think to that point, and to Rachel's point about their capacity to put bills together that balance, I think there's a serious question to be asked about the accuracy of the, or if there even are, fiscal notes that back up all of the provisions. I know the governor's got some grave concern about that they actually are creating phony money to balance the budget, and I just would ask them that when they produce their budget bills, that they be backed up by nonpartisan staff fiscal notes so that we know the savings that they're claiming to get are real, that they aren't just something concocted by the Republican Party.
Back to the tax bill, does it surprise you at all that the Senate approach differs in so many ways from the House tax bill? Or is that typical?
Well, I don't know enough about the House to comment on that. You know, there's a metropolitan tax chair in the Senate and a rural tax chair in the House, so I guess they probably come at it from different avenues, just from where they personally come.
Does it seem like this move to take transit sales tax money and spend on other things, is that like a backdoor tax increase? I mean,
there are lots of those things all over. Firefighters were in the Judiciary Committee yesterday in uniforms, room a lot hotter than this, and they're wearing EMT clothing and hazardous suits, hazmat suits, and so on. And they're talking about the fact that the judiciary budget takes $8.5 million out of an insurance premium surcharge that the state put on under Palenti 4 years ago. Half the money, more than half the money, has not gone to the firefighter stuff. It's going to balance the budget. And so, in effect, we're either not going to train firefighters, or we're going to be using, we should be using that money what it was raised for. But that was a surcharge for that purpose. And I think you're going to see a lot of that kind of gimmick where they take money from some other purpose and put it in to balance the budget.
You know, on the transit tax issue, the legislature gave county boards authority to impose a 0.25% sales tax for transit. That is specifically what county boards voted on. And now for the legislature to come along a couple of years later and say, well, we realize that's what you voted, county commissioners, that's what you voted to use the money for, that's what the authorization was for. But we've decided as a legislature, we're now going to take that money for deficit reduction at the state level. That's just one more example of how this legislature is just breaking faith with local units of government. And I just think, and I know the governor thinks, we have to be stronger partners with our local governments.
Is there another round of cuts coming to the DFL caucus staff? In particular, might there be one LA for every 2 senators? Is anything like that coming along in this budget that you know of?
It's nothing that Senator Koch has talked to me about. I think there could be some adjustments to Senate staffing levels depending on what the ultimate cut in the final budget solution is. We don't. I guess we'll see what is negotiated out with the governor relative to cuts in the executive branch and both bodies of the legislature, and that may require some adjustments based on the money available. There are serious problems in the Senate budget. Because we self-insure for unemployment, so those, the DFL caucus laid off 42 people at the end of session. We're paying unemployment for them. We're paying cash because we don't participate in the state trust fund. So to the extent that some of those people were able to find employment, it's saving the Senate budget some money, but to the extent they can't, It's putting a pretty big drain. We had to pay out all the additional sick pay, all the comp time that people had accumulated, vacation benefits, all had to be paid out in cash. So there was a reserve for that, but I don't think today we don't know to what extent that reserve has been depleted. But I think at the end of the session, depending on the outcome, there may be some adjustments.
Now that you've begun to see the shape of the legislature's budget, do you believe that we will be out of here by May 23rd?
Well, I think, like I've previously said, it is going to depend on the willingness of this Republican legislature to compromise with the governor. The governor has proposed $2.6 billion in a tax increase. This legislature has said, as far as sales and income tax, state general fund taxes, they're not going to support a tax increase, even though property taxes are going to continue to go up exponentially. Tuition's going to go up exponentially. I think it's going to be depend on the willingness of the governor and the Republican legislature to compromise. And I don't know, there's a number somewhere between 0 and 2.6